Do negative numbers confuse you? Today we are going to break it down. In just a few minutes you will understand how to add, subtract, multiply and divide with negative numbers like a pro. Let's go. We will start by adding and subtracting negative numbers. There are some rules you should be aware of. If you have a negative number and you add a negative number, you will get more negative, so you're going deeper into the minus. If you have a positive number and you add a negative number, subtract the smaller from the larger and keep the sign of the larger. And if you have minus and minus, you will get plus. So let's start with the first question. We have -3 plus -5. We have a negative number plus a negative number, and we add a negative number. That means that we are going deeper into the minus. That will give us a -8. You can always draw a line. Think that this is 0, then you have -1, -2, -3, -4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And you'll start by standing here on -3 and you'll move 5 steps to the more negative side. So are standing here, jump 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We will land on -8. So the correct answer should be -8. If we move on to the next question, we have a positive number and we're adding a negative number. So subtract the smaller from the larger and keep the sign of the larger. Which one is the larger one? -10 is the larger one, so the answer should be negative. And if we subtract the smaller from the larger, so we have 7, and we take away 10, then we will get -3. You can always draw a line and stand here on 7, and then go more to the negative side 10 steps. So 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then 0, and then we have -1, -2, and -3. So this is 1 step, 2 steps, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. We will land on -3, which is the correct answer. Move on to the next question. We have -5 minus 2. So if we have -5 minus 2, we will go deeper into the minus. So this will give us -7. I'm adding 5 and 2, and then I'll get -7. You can always draw a line and think of it like we have 0, -1, -2, -3, -4, -4, -5, -6, and then -7. We're standing on -5, and we are going to the negative, more deeper in the into the minus. So we are moving 2 steps from -5, and we get the answer -7. This question, we have 4 minus -3. And minus minus, when they are written after each other, they will always give us plus. So this will equal 4 plus 3, which give us 7. So the correct answer here is 7. Let's move on to the next question, question 2. And now we are going to solve some problems with multiplying and dividing negative numbers. If we have a -3 and we multiply it with -4, there are some rules we should be aware of. If you have a negative number and you multiply it or divide it by a negative number, you will always get positive answer. So it will always be plus. I should be writing that in another color. So let's change the color. Negative multiplied by negative, that will give us positive. And the same is said about division. So if you have a negative number and you divide it by a negative number, you will always get a positive answer. If we have a positive number and we multiply it by a positive number, then the answer should be plus. So plus divided by plus will give us plus, the same thing as multiplying. But if you have a positive, no, just joking, plus and plus will give us plus. If you have a positive number and you multiply it by a negative number, then the answer should be negative. So different signs should always give you a negative answer, and when the signs are equal, you will always get a positive answer. So if you have plus and divided by minus, you will always get negative answer. It's a minus. And the same on the other side, if we change the place with these two, if you have a minus, a negative number, and you multiply it by a positive number with a positive number, you will always get a negative answer as a minus answer. So the same thing here. If you have a negative number and you divide it by a positive number, the answer should be negative. So let's use these rules in these equations or questions that we have here. Let's start with the first one. We have negative 3 and we want to multiply it by negative 4. We know that negative and negative should give us a positive answer. So 3 multiplied by 4, that equals 12. So we get positive 12. If we have a negative number and we divide it with a positive number, negative divided by negative divided by positive, that will give us a negative answer. So minus, and 6 divided by 2, that equals 3. So negative 3 should be the answer. If we have a positive number and we multiply it with a negative number, positive number multiplied with a negative number, that should give us a negative answer. So minus an 8 multiplied by 2 equals 16. So negative 16. Let's move on to this question. We have a negative number divided with another negative number. So negative divided by negative should give us a positive answer, and 9 divided by 3, that equals a positive 3. Now let's move on to mixed examples where we have problems that combine operations. Let's start with solving the first problem, or the first question. Here we have 6 minus 9 in parentheses, and then we multiply it by negative 3. If we start by solving 6 minus 9, we have 6 and we take away 9. That will give us a negative number, so that will equal negative 3. And then we multiply it by negative 3. And two negative numbers multiplied with each other will always give us a positive answer. So 3 multiplied by 3, that equals 9. So the answer should be 9. We move on to the next question, B. We have negative 2 plus 5. Okay. We have a negative number and we add a positive number which is larger than a negative number. So the answer should be positive, and that will give us 3. You can always draw a line. The line should be straight as you can. And then we are standing on negative 2 here. And then we have negative 1, 0, 1, 2, 3. And we move 5 steps to the positive side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That will give us 3. And then we need to divide it by negative 1. And if we have a positive number and we divide with a negative number, the answer should be negative. So 3 divided by 1, that equals 3. So negative 3 should be the answer. Move on to this question. We have negative 4. We will add it to 3 and multiply it to negative 2. We start by multiplying these two together in the right order. So 3 multiplied by negative 2, They have different, this one is positive, this one is negative, so the answer should be negative. So we have -4 or -4 plus 3 multiplied by -2 should be 6 and -6. So we have -4 and we are adding -6. We should go deeper to the negative, to the minus. That will give us -10. You can always draw a line, and we are standing on -4 here. We have -5, -6, -7, -8, -9, -10, and we are jumping 6 steps from -4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We will land on -10, which is the correct answer. If this video helped you understand negative numbers, hit like and subscribe, and comment below with a math topic you want explained next. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.